So nearly 100 million Americans are waking up to this morning to temperatures below 20 degrees, and it's expected to feel like it's below zero for more than half the country.
Plus, there's snow in the north and ice in the south, knocking out power in the bitter cold and downing trees. Lilia Luciano joins us now from a warming center in St. Paul, Minnesota, but she is outside the warming center. Looks very cold there. Lilia, good morning.
For all of us, this will be an inconvenience. If you're staying outside, this is life or death.
In Boston, homeless shelters are full, but no one will be turned away. The polar plunge has begun. The city's expected to see temperatures free fall well below freezing by noon. Overnight, public trains were parked in tunnels to keep them warm in order to avoid any disruption in service for commuters this morning. Elsewhere in Massachusetts, some schools made the tough choice to close Friday.
In the dangerous cold, we could get frostbite.
While in western New York, an overnight blast of Arctic air unleashed wind gusts of more than 40 miles an hour and whiteout conditions. The bone-chilling temperatures in the Northeast come as the South begins to feel some relief for the first time in days after temperatures finally rose above freezing. In the storm's wake, countless trees that buckled under the weight of ice.
It will take months to get this cleaned up. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it's midsummer before all the dead trees are gone.
At least 11 people across Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas were killed during the storms, most in car wrecks due to ice-covered roads. And hundreds of thousands of customers across the region are still without power.
We started a fireplace, put some pots on the gas-burning stove, and that's about all we have.
And the South is not yet out of the woods. It's also cold there, but the concern now is in the Northeast, where conditions could be life-threatening. We are now, Janet, in front of a warming center that overnight received about 88 people. And what they've told us is, look, it wasn't at capacity. We have enough shelters in this region to house. This one is for men, some are for women, some are for youth and families, but we have seen people being dropped off overnight. There's a serious concern about frostbite. The National Weather Service, in places where the temperatures dropped under 30 degrees below zero, they put out a warning saying that it could take less than 10 minutes for frostbite to set in. So real concern for folks out there who are unhoused.
And Lilia, that's a little bit startling because we know that Minnesota has brutal winters every winter, right? Mm-hmm. So the fact that they've opened shelters says something very significant about what's going on there. Is this year different or harsher than in the past?
This is not different for them. In fact, I've been talking to folks here who are kind of surprised that we as a network were from here, given that they're kind of used to it. The locals will say, what, this feels like any other day. But the shelter, they opened one more shelter. It's not a sign that this winter is any worse for them, but we are seeing those records elsewhere in the country. Anne-Marie.
Well, listen, if you're not from this part of the country, right? Maybe you're from someplace further south. You may be familiar with cooling centers, which are open. Lilia's pointing to herself, which are open during heat waves, and people can go there to sort of cool down. Usually, with cooling centers, it gets cooler at night, so people can go back home. But with a warming center, it's going to be worse at night. For the people who are not from this part of the country, can you talk to us about what the warming center will provide, the purpose of having these sort of facilities pop up?
Yeah, this is, it's crucial. And you're right. Here it's obviously coldest at night when it's most dangerous. They offer beds, they have hot chocolate, they have coffee. Not too many resources, but just a place where people can spend the night. The shelters, the ones that are overnight, and there's a lot of other shelters for the day and, warming places where people can go. Churches and other places that the county runs, but these open at 9 p.m. and they don't close at 6:30 a.m. I don't think they push people out, but they're open, guaranteed, the ones that are overnight from 9 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. And yeah, that's when it's coldest, especially in those morning hours. We felt it here, and we've seen people walking back and forth, and coming here to a gas station, buying some food, getting back in there. But yeah, the county here is doing whatever it can to keep people safe.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough weekend. Lilia, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.